This video made by me, Dr. Ogilvy, for the histology class, fall 2013, is going to walk you through from downloading Biolucida Viewer from a website that I'm going to type in here right now, and this will follow along fairly close to the instructions that are put on the website. And so when you get to biolucida.net, then in the lower right here, you just click on Download the Viewer, and you accept the terms, and then it's going to detect. Now, it's not going to work on XP and some other strange operating systems for the past. It'll work on Windows 7 and Windows 8, and it's going to detect whether you have 32-bit or 64-bit, and then the Macintosh is going to have to be OS 10, 10.6 or higher. And so this is greened out for me, which means my operating system is 64-bit. So I'm going to click this to download, and you can see up here on the download, it's doing it, and I'm going to save it. And actually I have saved it already under here in Biolucida Setup, so I'm just going to replace that, which will be the latest version. And when I save it, then I can get rid of my web page for now. I'm just going to minimize that in case I need it again. And so I go to my folders, and I'm going to find in the downloads, and I'm going to find that file. So while I'm actually looking for that, I'm going to pause this recording so that, okay, so here's the file where it came into my computer, and I'm going to double click on that and run it. And so I can close this in the background, and now we're installing Biolucida Viewer. And I'll go through the process, accept the terms, and it's going to install it in my computer on the C drive in a folder called MBF Bioscience Biolucida Viewer. And so I'm going to leave it right there and install it. And when you click install, nothing really happens. I've tried to get the company to put a little bar, but it just sits there, and sometimes, like you may do, I want to click it again, but it tells me it's already running, and I see things happen on my computer, and all of a sudden it's finished. So that was pretty fast. And then when that's installed, then it wants me to connect to some clouds. I'm going to pause this so I can resize this screen for a moment here. Well, it's not going to let me resize it. I guess I'll have to do it while it's live, but I can't even do that. But anyway, I'm going to connect directly to the clouds. The first cloud I'm going to connect to is the Histology Lab cloud that was in the instructions. And so the URL is cocus.cas.sc.edu. And if you say I have an account for it, then already you have a place to put the account number and the account name in. And the account for the labs is Histology Lab Specimens. And the password is organ. Let me make sure I type that correctly. And so I say connect. And so now I'm immediately connected. Now I want to make sure that I have a login by that name, and I believe that I do. So let's see what happens. No, I want to edit that. You see what I did? I want to make sure that when I go back the next time, I don't see the URL, but I see Histology Lab Specimens as that cloud, so I'll know exactly. So I have to go here, and then there it is, but I want to edit it. So I'm going to change, there's the URL, but I'm going to change the name to Histology Lab. That's the way I'll remember it on my computer. You can name it anything you want to, but just so you distinguish Histology Lab from the cloud that we use to take Part B of the test. So I go to next and next. So now it says up here I'm connected as Histology Lab Specimens. When I go back here, you see it has this. And then of course there is MBF Cloud, and if I go to that, that's simply a demonstration. And why it shows there at that particular specimen, I don't know, but we'll probably change that. But you do have some specimens that you can explore if you want in here that have been put for you to explore if you want to get issues. But we're also creating in the Biolucida Histology Lab, we have a special collection which I made a separate video, and these specimens are actually annotated. And so here's the bookmarks for that particular lab, and if I click here or bring up another specimen, I have a whole other video showing that. So I'm going to stop now and change it over to log in as a quiz and exam taker, which we'll use throughout the course to take your exams in the Biolucida in using Blackboard. So once I've set up that one cloud, then if I want to go and set up another cloud, I have to go to other Biolucida clouds, and then I click on New. And New, I have to type in that same URL, cocascvscope.cas.sc.edu. Now here you can actually put the name that you want. And I'm going to put quiz student USC quiz taker, or student, got to get in the right place, student quiz taker. That just helps me remember. You can put whatever you want as long as you know that's the cloud you're going to go to take the Blackboard quizzes within Biolucida. So we say next, and we're going to have to do the account, and the account is Histology Quiz Exam is the name, and the password is tissue. And we click done. Uh-oh, I got to check something. I misspelled something, so I'm going to pause this while I get that straightened out. I think I found the error. I didn't put edu at the end of this, so let's try it again. There, see, it worked. So you got to be careful putting that in. Now when you get in here, now this window is a little small. I had to make it that way just so that, but you know, you could use full screen. But now you have, we've restricted you to certain things that out of Biolucida, so you can take the exam and you can't see the names of things and stuff like that. So now I'm going to log in with the my login as a student in Blackboard, and I'm going to pause this and not take time for the recording. Okay, I'm now logged into Blackboard as a student, just like you would be. And of course I have a couple other courses and test courses, but here's the course that you're in. And so we're going to enter that course. Then I'm going to go to the course modules, and I'm going to find that quiz that we set up, the sample quiz B, part B, and I'm going to start taking it. And so here we are, and I'll begin the quiz. And by the way, if you want more real estate, you can do this, and so you can have the whole thing like that. You see it, but you have to hover your little cursor in the hand over that and find the arrow. It's usually, and you won't ever find it if you're way down here. It'll never be there. You have to go in this area by the menu, and when it shows up, just click it. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have a full real estate, and then I always expand this so I can see the questions I've answered. And then here is the specimen for the first slide. So it's going to take me to that specimen, and I can click on the annotation and see it because I know that's number one question. Now in the module quizzes and the midterm and the final, we'll be randomizing these questions, so you won't see the question number in the annotation here. You'll have to make sure you keep track of which question you're answering. And I'm going to show you something else also. Of course, you type in the answer, which I'm not going to do. But you can go to Tools and go to Viewer Options, And then over here on the right, you see on the right where it's Image, Keyboard Shortcuts, and Viewer. And you can say always show browser as floating window. So you can actually have your browser and put it somewhere else. If you have enough room, you could put them side by side, I guess, and you could change the dimension of your whatever. But now we could take this tools off, and for the taking the exam, I like to make sure the macro view is showing and the annotations are showing. And so that is a way, and then when you go for, let's say, I'm not going to answer that question, but I'll go to another question. And you see, it replaced that image with the correct question, but then this other's in the background. So that's one way you can do it if you prefer. But you can also go back up to Tools and Viewer Options and Viewer, and you can click this off, and then you can get rid of this so that you have a full screen. And here's the image that we were in right there, okay? So back to the exam and go to another question. I think I've about covered everything except for zooming. Now, we just had the company put these plus or minus here because they were in the drop-down menu, and that was pretty annoying. But that's the way you can zoom in if you like. But we usually set these annotations for questions to stay, you know, at all magnifications. But if you lose track, let's say you go way over here and you've lost it, you just click on the annotation and say go to, and it comes back. So you can always get back to where we are asking you a question. Now the other way to zoom is on the PC. You can put Control plus. You see, that's what I'm doing. Keystroke, Control plus or Control minus. Control minus. And you can zoom that way. And on the Macintosh, it's Command plus, Command plus, Command minus, Command minus. And now, let's see, what else here? The other way of zooming, you can either go here and choose the marquee, and you can draw an area you want to enlarge, and there it will come, okay? Or let's go back to down to low magnification. Say you want to magnify this area right here, and you put it in the center. Then you can click on the image and then press your key Z. It turns into a plus or a marquee. Draw a marquee, and there you have the magnification. Now I'm going to pause this for a moment just to make sure I haven't forgotten anything, and then we'll wind this video up. I just thought of one other thing. Now, you all know that you can screen capture, and of course we've asked you not to copy the questions, but we can't control this. And the answers we don't give out unless you get it right or you discuss it on the discussion board. But you can also take snapshots, either a screenshot of the specimen, or you can go up here with the wrench tool and take a snapshot. And when you do that, it automatically will save that particular magnification. And usually, if I need a screenshot or a capture, I'll save it as a JPEG file. Well, that probably is something you could use to study, but you would not have, you know, access to the full virtual slides, but maybe this will help in when you review. Although when you come back to review in the module quizzes, we always let you go back and use the same links. You'll be able to quiz. You won't see the full questions, but like all of this, but you'll see the link that is here. That is, if multiple choice questions, you won't see. You'll just see the choice that you made and whether it's right or wrong. Here you will see, presume if you got it correct, you'll see the correct answer. If you didn't, you'll not see the correct answer. Okay, I think that's about it. So that's how to interact with a quiz or an exam in Part B with using Blackboard within Biolucida Viewer.